Hey there, YouTube. So, another update on where I'm at with the Beta Ray Bill costume. Um, yeah, I wanted to get it done and take it to Colorado Springs Comic Con, which was about a week ago, about the time of the recording of this, but that didn't work out. My plans kind of fell through at the last minute, and yeah, I'm still not happy about that. Really wanted to go. That's like the closest major convention, and I kind of just heard about it and sort of, I don't know. It wasn't to be this year, I guess. Maybe next year I'll have stuff laid out better. Anyway, so what I got done, because I have quite a bit done. I've fixed a lot of what was wrong with the costume when I took it to Denver, which was all the stuff besides the alien skin was awful for the Denver costume. It was terrible. Um, so it's not 100% done, but I'm at this weird crossroads, and I'll mention that after I bring up what I got. So first off would be the chest, which I'm gonna go ahead and Velcro back up so it's kind of holding its shape a little bit better. And I've talked about this on previous videos a little bit, where I was using a Pepakura model made by JF Customs for the Appleseed character Briarios, um, which is the same guy I used a pattern for the arms for. And those two characters don't look anything alike, but I looked at this pattern and I was like, I can make this work. I can convert this to working for Bill pretty easily. Particularly, it had like these really big shoulder bells, which I knew one of the problems with Bill at Denver Comic Con was I looked really scrawny. So these large shoulder shapes were going to help a lot with that and make me look, big and bulky and comic book superhero-y. The other thing is this like whole upper torso section is just kind of in this big round thing, so it kind of sticks out for my chest a bit. Um, which works for like the Beta Ray Bill design. I've been doing this off of, uh, and it was basically the right shape where I could take all these plates that were on the costume that I took to Denver Comic Con and just kind of put them on here. Um, so yeah, that is where those came from, and that's what I'm going to do with that. I didn't get everything from the Denver costume on here, mostly like the little metal bits that were in there. I still need to add in and add in the other stuff. So there's still more detail I want to add to this, and I'm gonna forget what I was saying earlier about talking about it later. I'm at this weird crossroads with this costume that I'm kind of gonna let him sit for a while. I'm gonna wait for Thor Ragnarok to come out. Because when Thor Ragnarok comes out, if Beta Ray Bill is actually in there in any capacity where I can build his costume, where I can basically take what I've already made and modify it to look like the Marvel Cinematic Universe version of Beta Ray Bill, I'm going to do that. And if not, then I'm going to do a really thorough version of the comics Beta Ray Bill. So yeah, there's all kinds of details. There's a thing I want to add there. There's a lot I want to do to this, but I'm not going to do it until I find out which of those two ways I want to go. If I want to go movie Beta Ray Bill if he exists, or comics Beta Ray Bill. So the whole costume's kind of going to go on hiatus, official planned hiatus, until November when Ragnarok comes out. So yeah, there's all kinds of neat little details I want to add to this, but I'm going to shift to working on some other stuff until then. But as for the other parts on the costume, for the undersuit, which was interesting in terms of the things I had to procure to work on it. I think I mentioned in a previous video that I basically found man lingerie to make this. I was looking at like leotards and like wrestler uniforms, because it's like I just need something to cover like the upper chunk of my legs and kind of from my lower torso down. So when you think about like what wrestlers wear or what 1980s strongmen wear, that'd work. So I found this thing that is made out of mesh. It's made out of either super clear mesh. Yeah, this thing's kind of creepy. And made out of much less clear mesh. Yeah, it looks less creepy now that there's, superhero costume stuff glued to it, but it still looks kind of creepy. The hilarious thing is since this is underwear, um, I'm wearing a superhero costume that's a pair of tights with a pair of underwear over the top of it. It's not quite the, like stereotypical tighty whities, but it's just a fancier version of tighty whities over tights. The fanciest version of tighty whities over tights. Yeah, so this is all just craft foam on top of this. I need to surface it better. Again, that'll wait to see how stuff rolls out. Now this is Velcro, which, since this is a mesh, I just used the hook section of Velcro, and it, sat on there pretty easily, and then I just adhered it with fabric hot glue. Initially, what I wanted to do, the way I viewed the costume, because the design's kind of weird, is since it's got those like lines on it there, some people draw that as like segments between a plate. I always thought of that as tubes, like because like it was the undersuit of a spacesuit, like Martian things like that. That he's just kind of added on top of, but he started with just this undersuit of a spacesuit. So I initially was using fish tank tubing that, I wanted this color. Tried painting the inside of it, didn't work. So I actually just filled it with, it was some kind of cord. It was just some super cheap dollar roll cord in the color I wanted. But yeah, that didn't stick to the leotard thing. So I switched to the Velcro. Now that I have the Velcro on there, I can probably attach the tubes to the Velcro. So that's the way I'm going to go if I fix up this costume after the fact. Yeah, that's a big chunk of that. And again, I kind of wish the man lingerie wasn't so perfect for this, but it's all breathable mesh, so it just, it fits on over the top of the morph suit, still allows plenty of airflow, and it was in exactly the right shape, and it keeps things tucked more securely. So it's good for that. Yeah. No, I'm clearly secure in all this weird stuff. Yeah, it doesn't look weird in the context of a superhero costume over a morph suit, but you hold it up and you wave it around, and yeah, it looks so creepy. Boots. Let's talk about boots, because I made boots as opposed to just wearing Thor boots. Yeah. So I've got a lot of old shoes sitting around, and I probably want to add more to this at some point, but I was working full tilt up to where things went wrong, and that's about what I had time to put together for this. Now, these like shin guards are actually another JF Customs PDF Pepakura file for Iron Man Extremis shin guards, which is kind of where Iron Man was at in the comics, like right after Civil War. It's really just kind of a nice generic fluid shin guard model, and of course this is just what I added onto it. To help cover up some of how the Pepakura makes certain shapes look awkward, and some of it to actually be kind of more the design of Bill's shin guards in that. I'm probably going to add something to fill this in a little bit. Maybe something to kind of give it that, Thor boot YT, whatever you want to call it, type thing. That's the thing is, with the detail I'm adding onto this, I'm kind of starting with this basic design as a guideline, and then I'm adding extra detail into it based on the Thor movie costumes, which of course I have a lot of experience with. and also some of Beta Ray Bill's classic design, which is like it's a little weird. A lot of people kind of gravitate more towards that design than his new design. In certain comics and every other Beta Ray Bill costume I've seen is kind of either his classic design or a really heavily modified Thor movie costume. Um, I didn't mention this when I brought this piece up, but again, uh, this started out partially as a way to cover up the awkwardness of the Pepakura, you know, how that handles curves. But Bill's shoulders have always had this interesting, weird, like scallop pattern. I'm not good at turning things in a mirror. This interesting, weird scallop pattern of like, you know, long half ovals over a shoulder. So I kind of went with that, but I sort of made it look more mechanical to like fit in with the general vibe of what his chest design looks like. Um, which I like. And squaring them off at the ends, it makes the piece feel almost more like still not good at tilting things. It makes a piece almost look like an industrial drill head or something. So I'm really pretty happy with that. And again, anytime you're working on a costume, any extra detail you can fit in there is always good. I mean, I'm sure there's I'm sure there's an extreme extent to where it's not, but yeah, no, I definitely feel that when you're adapting a piece of comic book design, extra detail always helps. Uh, yeah, I think that's pretty much like the news. Well, wait, there's one more thing to talk about, which isn't too much new. It's less a new piece I've worked on, and it's more, I'm fiddling with extending Bill's neck because when I wore this to Denver Comic Con, the scales ended right at the jawline, and that looked a little weird. I had to work around that. Kind of pulled the morph suit hood up, so it was sort of covering that out. But if I get the full alien texture scaly neck um, down to my collarbone, that'll add a lot to the costume. And the way I'm having to do this is also adding like a bit of slope, a bit of bulk to my neck, which will make me look burlier, which is going to be good for that. And of course, um, I'm building a collar to go around that. I've only got the beginnings of that done, but that'll look really cool when it's done. I've got some stuff to do on that. It almost kills me to set this guy up for a while, but that's the thing is if there's a movie version of Beta Ray Bill, I know I'm going to want to build that, and I will probably be able to use what I've already done on this mask, and just kind of modify it to get there. So maybe that's the way it'll go. Maybe that's the way it won't, but I never have a shortage of things I want to work on. So I'll probably focus more on my Mandalorian or a suit of studded leather I'm working on, which, yes, isn't historically accurate, but I've been watching Game of Thrones again, and nothing makes you feel quite as studly as studded. That would have sounded clever if it came out right, but it didn't. Studly, then studded leather. There we go. Yeah, just ignore that middle section. Anyway, I am incredibly sleep deprived, and I'm probably running out of juice to make this video interesting. So, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate the input, and I appreciate the attention. We've just hit. I've been uploading to YouTube for 1 year, and it's been a learning experience. I'm still kind of figuring out what I want this channel to be. And so far, I don't feel like I've pigeonholed myself, but maybe I'll stop trying to do other things on the channel. I think I've given up on Let's Playing, unless I get something really, really super interesting, just because I can't keep up the commentary. If I get a partner to interact with, maybe it'd work, but until then, that's probably way on the back burner. So I'll see you guys later.